You're with This Morning on CBC Radio 1. I'm Sheila Rodgers. Calendars featuring athletes bearing it all have become big over the last couple of years, and there have been activists trying to save trees on Gulf Coast islands as well. Now a group of dragon boat racers in Calgary have taken it off for their own 2001 calendar. But these women share more than their sport. Each one of them, from January to December, has survived breast cancer. Ginny Mitchell organized the calendar, and she's Ms. November. And Ginny joins me from our Calgary studio. Hi, Ginny.
Hi, Sheila.
First of all, what does your picture look like?
Well, I'm one of the November girls. There's two of us that pose together for the photograph, and we are trying on hats and putting ribbons around our heads. Not ribbons, I shouldn't say that. We have headbands that we wear during the races, and they have Chinese symbols on them, and each one of the boats has their own symbol. And on our boat, our symbol means woman's inner strength. So it's just kind of a fun shot.
And you are only wearing hats, right?
We're only wearing hats, and the photograph was taken from the side, and the way our arms are, you don't actually see anything. It's obvious that we're not wearing anything, but you don't see anything critical.
It's a joyous picture, actually.
And that's what we wanted to show in the photograph.
How did this idea come about?
We got our inspiration from a calendar that was produced in England by the ladies of Rylstone. And we had a team meeting back in the spring, and we had a team member, Kathy Ingram, who said, Ginny, maybe we should do this, put out a calendar. And I thought, you've got to be kidding. And we started talking about it, and Kathy had some photographs done of herself a while before, very beautiful artistic photographs, and she said, this is the sort of thing I'm talking about. And we looked at them, and all of us went, oh, those are just incredible, and maybe we could do this. We're always looking for a way to raise funds for our dragon boat team. It costs a lot of money to race on a dragon boat team, and we're trying to cover the costs for as many of the women as we can so that it's not a sport that's only for people that can afford it. So fundraising is a big part of what we have to do, and so the calendar, well, the idea came about with that.
Ginny, tell me about the women who are in the photographs. Who are they, and what do they look like, and what shape are they?
Well, if you look at the calendar, we have women ranging in age. I am the youngest in the calendar at the age of 40, and we go up to a couple of women in their 60s. The average age is probably in their 40s, maybe early 50s. So pretty average women. But the main thing that we all have in common is that we have battled breast cancer. Every single one of us in the calendar. We have 3 boats in Calgary made up of 75 women. And when we started this idea, I thought, ooh, can we get 12 women that are willing to do this, to pose for the calendar? And in the end, I had 20 women that said that they would like to do it, and I could have had more if I'd pushed harder. I was just amazed at how many women got on board with the whole idea and the whole concept.
Why do you think it appealed to them so much?
I think there's several reasons. A big part of it is our society has always viewed breast cancer as being disfiguring and a loss of femininity. And we really want to say that's not true. We're still beautiful, we're still sensual, we're still very much women. And that's a big message that we're carrying in this calendar. And so I think team members felt that, that's an important thing to get out there. We want to sort of say, we're still here, look at us.
Even though our bodies have been changed by breast cancer.
That's right, and all of us have been changed in some way. We've had surgeries ranging from lumpectomies to all the way through to double mastectomies and reconstruction.
So it's the whole range of what can happen, right?
Completely.
And all of these women are from all sorts of walks of life, too.
Oh, they are. We have an amazing number of school teachers and nurses on the team. There has been some theories in the past that women that are in sort of helping fields tend to have this disease a little bit more. I don't know about that. I myself am basically a homemaker. I stay home full-time with 3 children. We have women that are professionals.
You have a job, by the way.
I know. I have a very busy job.
Yeah, so they really are out in every aspect of life.
And that's what's so wonderful about the team is the people that we associate with. The commonality for all of us is the breast cancer, and then of course the dragon boating and the love of the water and physical activity.
How exposed are you? This is a tasteful calendar, but how exposed are the women in this calendar?
Everybody got to decide on their own comfort level. Nobody was asked to take off more than they were comfortable with. So we have a range of photographs. We have one woman on the team that was very daring. She was very comfortable with her body and showing all, and others that were covered up, obviously a little bit more. One of the things that came out a lot is the photographer, and we had an incredible photographer called Alexis. She had this netting, and everybody just loved the netting. We felt very sensual and beautiful, kind of wrapped up.
You sort of drape it on your bodies?
We draped it. It was revealing without being too revealing. We could have done a whole calendar just with the netting, and it was just one of those really fun things. I think it's very feminine and flowing.
How were you with your picture? Were you shy at first? Were you?
Now, the woman that I'm in the photograph with, Marlene, she's my co-captain on Sister Ship 2. She and I did the first photographs before anybody else. And we went into the studio, and we did all sorts of photos. We did shots together. We did shots on our own. We did silly photographs. We did ones that were just plain goofy. And then we went back to the women on the team and said, these are the type of photographs we're looking at doing. What do you think? And so the women that decided to come on board then were sort of given a preview of what are we talking about. So we had a lot of fun doing it that morning. There was a makeup artist there, and he relaxed us fairly quickly. He was told jokes, and we laughed. And Marlene and I both brought our daughters along. We both have 13-year-old daughters. And the girls watched us have our makeup done and the whole discussion, but we didn't have them in the studio for the photographs.
What was photographing the cover shot like?
Oh, that was just hilarious.
What happened?
Well, they came up, we did this outdoor shoot with 16 models, and it was a really long day, and our makeup artist, Ty, and Alexis just worked for 6 hours solid. And somebody came up with the idea of, let's get some people in the water with our paddles and show sort of the dragon boating pose. And I thought, okay, and then we started talking, and who's willing to do it? And 6 women agreed to do it. And I was just amazed because the river was fairly cool, and it wasn't a really hot day. It was a nice day, but I wouldn't say it was in their 30s. I had no urge to go submerge myself. So these women all agreed to do it, and we picked a good place in the river, and then they walked, well, most of the shots were done quite privately. Women went off with the photographer on their own and had the shots done. But because there were 6 women involved in that, you had, first of all, you were in front of these other women. And then we said, can we come and watch? Because we couldn't wait to see them filming or photographing this one. And they were also agreeable. Oh, sure, come and watch, come and watch. So there was about 4 of us standing on the shore, watching them wade out into the water. And there were some squeals. The water was cold, and there was quite a strong current there, and trying to get into position. And we laughed. We were just hysterical watching them do it. And here's the photographer trying to brace herself on a rock with the rushing current, trying to take pictures of them and get everybody to get their arms up in the right place and strategically, planning the whole thing.
Right. What was most surprising for? I mean, had you all, forgive, this isn't a prurient question, but had you all been naked together before?
No. And for some people, they weren't comfortable being naked in front of somebody else. The photographer was one thing, and they didn't want to do it with another model, and that was fine.
So how
they
did
individual shots. I think fairly quickly we just relaxed. We realized that we've all been through this surgery. There was something about the whole thing, having our makeup done. We watched as everybody had their makeup being put on and the transformation. And I think there was so many positive comments made that day, like, oh, you look incredible, you look so wonderful, and the holding up of the props. And it was just a lot of fun.
You felt beautiful.
We did. We felt really beautiful. I had phone calls the next day from some of the women that participated in that outdoor shoot saying for the first time since they've been diagnosed with breast cancer, they felt truly beautiful. And I think it was just the whole atmosphere. Having somebody that wants to take your picture in a setting and feeling sensual and beautiful, whereas you get used to taking off your clothes in front of doctors that look at you very clinically and you're just another patient.
Mm-hmm. And you're promoting something really healthy. I mean, there you are out on the water being athletic, right?
Yes,
it's
yes.
Wonderful.
And that's a big part of what the Dragon Boat team is all about, is promoting a healthy, active lifestyle after a breast cancer diagnosis.
Ginny, we have about a minute left before we head off into a whole other program. What are you going to use the money for?
The money we're raising here is to participate in a huge Dragon Boat race in Toronto next June, and we're hoping to take as many of our 75 paddlers as we can to June. There will also be 2 days of workshops for breast cancer teams. There's 24 cities across Canada now that have Dragon Boat teams.
Wow. And is everyone healthy right now on your team?
There are 3 of us in the calendar that are dealing with metastatic disease at this time.
I wish you all the best, and I hope it's really well received. What I've seen, grainy black. It looks absolutely lovely.
It does, and Chapters has just come on board, and they're selling the calendars in Calgary now. And
you're good, you know. You're really good. I'm also going to mention we have links to it on our website as well.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Ginny.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Bye-bye.
Ginny Mitchell organized a nude breast cancer survivor calendar in Calgary. That's where she was, and you can find out more about the calendar by going to our website. Follow the links to this morning. Go to radio.cbc.ca.